Welcome to LeadMaster. In this video, I'm going to show you how to integrate your other cloud-based applications with LeadMaster using PieSync. To begin, you'll need a PieSync access token. Go to My Account, click on the Other tab, click on More, and click on the Generate PieSync token. You're going to want to copy this for later use. Now, go to PieSync. Log in. The first thing you see is the list of your connections. I've already created a connection here between my Google contacts and LeadMaster. I can review this by looking at the dashboard. I see how many new Google contacts I have, how many updated Google contacts I have, how many new LeadMaster contacts I have, and how many updated LeadMaster contacts I have for today. And it also shows me the history. It tells me my synchronization is active and some of the things that have happened in the past. I can load earlier activity as well. It also tells me that the Google contacts are flowing into LeadMaster one way. This is not a bidirectional configuration. I can also pause this. I can also sync again now, and I can take a look at the configuration. To avoid duplicates, I've selected to sync only contacts that have an email address. And when there's a conflict, I've suggested that Google wins. Here's the field mapping. Let's go back to our connections and create a new connection. This time, I'm going to use MailChimp. And LeadMaster. Now that I've selected both of my integrations, I have to go and authorize my user accounts. This is where the PieSync token comes in. On LeadMaster, you're going to have to paste that token in here. If you've copied and pasted correctly, your user ID will show up right here. Now let's select our MailChimp account. I've already entered my user ID and password for MailChimp, so all I have to do is select it. And now let's configure the setup. In this case, I don't want a two-way sync. I want it to go from LeadMaster to MailChimp. In LeadMaster, I have a campaign called Newsletter. Anyone that signs up for the newsletter using our newsletter landing page automatically gets assigned that campaign. I don't want all of the records in my LeadMaster account going, only the ones that are associated with the newsletter campaign. So I'm going to add a filter. I choose the condition, campaign is equal to newsletter. Then sync the contact from LeadMaster to MailChimp. I could also add an action in MailChimp. In this case, I'm not going to. Again, I'm only going to sync contacts that have an email address. And when a conflicting change is detected, LeadMaster is going to win because that probably has the most recent update. These are the default fields. The only other fields available in MailChimp have to do with opens and clicks. So we're not going to add any other fields for MailChimp. And we can start syncing now. That's all there is to it. Now, every 5 minutes, it will check LeadMaster to see if there are any contacts associated with newsletters. Let's go back to our connections and let's add one for QuickBooks. To add a connection for QuickBooks, we proceed the same way. We add a new connection, QuickBooks, LeadMaster. I've already authorized my Andy B5 account, so all I need to do is choose that now. And I've already authorized my QuickBooks account. So now all we need to do is configure the sync. Again, I'm not going to want all of my records from LeadMaster to flow into QuickBooks, only those where the sales stage indicates that it's been sold. Again, we add a filter. In this case, the condition is based on the sales stage. To confirm that I have spelled that correctly, I'm going to go back to LeadMaster and take a look at the search page for sales stage. So I'm going to click on search, and now I'll take a look at sales stage, and I see that closed won actually has a dash in it. So back to PieSync and paste that in there, closed won. Again, I can add another action on the QuickBooks side to update various fields. I'm not going to do that. So whenever sales stage equals closed won, that contact is going to go from LeadMaster to QuickBooks. Again, I'm avoiding duplicates. And whenever a conflict arises, I'm going to want to keep QuickBooks the same. I want to make sure that my accounting system remains unchanged with the exception of new contacts. By default, I have these 8 fields. There are other fields available for mapping. And those can be mapped on the QuickBooks side as well. In this case, I'm not going to have any additional fields, and I'll say start syncing now. My data is immediately synced. We go back and take a look at our connections, and you can see I now have 3 separate connections in my one PieSync account. Every 5 minutes, these will be updated. This concludes the video on integrating LeadMaster with other cloud-based applications.